Record? Recording?
I'm gonna take your word for it. Okay, that's recording.
It says recording?
Yeah, there's a
All
little
right.
flag or dot.
All right. Sweet. All right. Welcome to Grant and Guest. We now welcome on our guest this week. It is the one, the only UA Fort Smith, Cowtown legend, the Daniel Romo. Dan, how we doing tonight?
We're doing good, my man. Doing good.
Good deal. Well, okay, so the reason that I wanted to have Daniel on, and he knows this, and we talked about it quite a bit in the course of the last couple of weeks, is because
Time out. Don't call me Daniel, okay?
okay,
Don't
I'll
call
call you
by my
Dan. I'm
name.
sorry. I'm sorry. So funny story with that. I'll share with the people. So everybody used to just call Romo. He was just Romo. That was who he was. Everybody knew him as Romo. And then I want to say it was when we started living together junior year in 419, maybe a little bit. It might have been my senior year. And I just decided one day that we were just going to start calling him Dan. And so if I had to bet, I'd say probably half of the people at UA Fort Smith have Romo saved in their phone as the Dan Romo. I know I do. I'm pretty sure the rest of our friend group does, but he is just the Dan Romo. I will not call you Daniel again, so I apologize. But so Dan is a legend. If you don't know him, I'm sorry, but he's just the dude. So let's get into that. So I met Dan, sorry. I met Dan when I was a freshman in college. We don't need to get into how or why or anything like that, but I met Dan when I was a freshman in college and he was a senior in high school, and he showed up on the Fort Smith campus as a senior in high school and already knew half of the people there. And so it pretty much took no time for him to get on campus at Fort Smith as a freshman and get to know everybody. So how did that happen? What do you think made it where everybody knew you knew everybody? Like, how did that even happen? Because I legitimately don't know.
I have a point I want to come back to. I want you to tell them what I did the first time we met.
No.
Not the people we were with, the people, just what I did for like the first 30 minutes of meeting you.
No. Doesn't need to happen. Doesn't need to happen. We just want to know why you're a legend, why everybody knows you.
I think I was on Twitter a lot, and so there's always like a bunch like that's from the follow train with a trend. Like looking back, that's really cringeworthy. It's just like, why did we do that?
Yep.
But yeah, there's a bunch of people I knew that were a little like a year or two older than me, and I see them on Twitter, and I'm like, we'll trip back and forth at each other, and then next thing you know, it's just like, hey, I've met so and so. Hey, I've ran into so and so. Like, I'm pretty sure Hunter Westbrook was one of the first people I started tweeting at, and the next thing you know, we're playing each other in ping pong, and I'm getting my butt whooped. So it happens.
That's who I was going to shout out for like the follow train was Hunter Westbrook. I remember him being like the biggest one. And he and I were probably like our freshman year of college were probably the two most active people on Twitter. And I already knew you at that point. And I feel like it just kind of like connected the dots. But did you know that you always wanted to go to UFAS? Like what, or did you want to go anywhere else? So Romo's from Lavaca, which is right down the road from Fort Smith, staying close to home, everything like that. And I think everybody can relate to that to a certain extent when it comes to college. A lot of people go 16 hours away, but a lot of people stay within a couple, 2-3 hours of home. And for you, it was about 30 minutes. So like, did you always want to go there or?
So I didn't always want to go there. So I applied to other places. Like I applied to Tech. I think I applied to Oklahoma Baptist, just like a bunch of different schools, and college is expensive. Like that's what it comes down to.
Yep.
I had a bunch of scholarships, and it was enough it covered everything. And so I was just like, got to make a business decision, and it's just like, hey, I won't be in a big hole after college. I'm going here, and so I was like, let's go sit on the road and just do 4 years here.
Yep. So you were in a fraternity, and so Pi Kappa Phi, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So, like how much do you think that that helped with your popularity, or do you think it was just like more so than that, like just your personality? And like I've never met anyone that doesn't like you, so like, and that's the truth, so like, do you think it was more so that, or do you think it was your on campus involvement? Because we talked about this earlier before we started like recording. You were involved in a lot of different stuff, but you didn't ever have this like title that like made it where it was like everybody should know who I am. Everybody just knew who you were, and it just kind of like became this like, oh, like, everybody knows Romo. Romo's going to be there, like this sort of thing. Like it really was that. It not, I mean, seriously, but like, do you feel like it was just like, do you feel like PyCap, like, do you feel like that contributed to it maybe a little bit, or do you think it was just overall just the way that you've always been able to make connections with people?
It definitely wasn't the fraternity. It was my personality, my just being out there. Because like to this day, there's people that didn't even know the podcast. There's like, oh, I thought you were a Sig Nu, or I thought you were you were something like you were in a fraternity, or just whatever it might have been. Like very few people like tag me to PyCap,
Right.
and when that's fine. But it's
Yeah.
just like people just like they knew me because I was
Right.
always active doing something out and about. Like people, like you remember anytime Trey Chambers saw me, and
Yep.
like if there's like a woman by me, he's just like, Romo, save some for the rest of us.
Yep.
Him and Beno both just like
Yeah.
heckling me all the time. It's just you get around like that.
But and that speaks to like just who you were, because like for people that don't know, like the two dudes that he just named were probably two of the most like well-known popular dudes on campus that didn't play a sport. Like, yeah, they had played college sport. Well, Beno played 1 year, but either way, like everybody knew who those dudes were. You know what I mean? Like everybody knew who those dudes were, and those dudes were like always talking to you and always hyping you up and like all that sort of stuff. And it was just like, it just it's just goes back to, is like I've never found anybody that was like, yeah, I hate Daniel Romo, like Dan Romo. Sorry, it doesn't happen that way. Like, that's, but you know, it just I don't know. It really is mind blowing when it comes down to it, because like you weren't a superstar high school athlete or anything like that, contrary to what everybody think. No, I'm kidding. uh, but I mean, you just were just a likable guy that was pretty unassuming. You were involved and you played in your murals with us and with PyCap and everything like that, but it was never one of those things where that was like what your identity was, you know but I don't know. Crazy. I'm talking to a legend right now, and y'all don't even, some of y'all don't even realize it. But um so you get to UFAS, incredibly popular. Everybody knows you, kind of thing. Like it just, you couldn't go anywhere and without, somebody stopping to talk to you. And we lived together, junior year, best year of my college experience, best year
Same,
of everybody
same.
else's. 419, shout out Goat Gang, shout out 419. And it was ridiculous when you look back on it and we think like we're adults now, and life was so easy then and we thought it was so stressful. Like what, like if you could go back, like right now, if you could go back and tell that version of yourself something, what would you say?
What would I say to myself
Yeah,
back
you're,
in
you're 20.
2019 days?
What were you, 20? Like 419,
Yeah,
20?
I was 20.
What would you say to that version of yourself?
Hmm. I think I would really tell myself to stay, I enjoy the ride more.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I had a lot of fun in college. Like, I was well known, but like, there were times where I was like, oh no, I don't need to. I need to like just kind of isolate myself. Just like, no, just enjoy the ride.
Right.
Keep your people close, and just like, hey, keep them around. Just always have a good time. It's life's too short to take everything seriously.
Right.
So
Right. And I feel like it's tough too at that point, being 20, because it's like, yeah, you want to have friends and you kind of want to like establish, this name for yourself or whatever it is. But the reality is at the end of the day that you do generally keep a pretty small circle, like, and that kind of goes for everybody, because that's kind of how you keep those walls up and kind of how you keep yourself from getting hurt and from being in a situation that you don't want to be in. Um, do you feel like it was ever like really difficult for you to tell who was in your circle and who wasn't at that time? Like obviously now we're 25, 26, 27, so like it's different now, but do you feel like it was pretty tough to figure out at that time who was actually in your corner and who wasn't?
No, I knew who was in my corner then. Like, yeah, I know there's a bunch of people like that, like they were always around, but they're around because they're like, hey, I associate with Romo. Hey,
Right.
everyone knows him. If they see me with him, they'll know I could probably be somebody or whatever. Which I don't mean it to sound like an arrogant way or anything, but it's just like a lot
No.
of people hung around because it's just like, hey, I was with the group, or me and other people.
Right.
It's just it is what it is. But no, at the end of the day, like back then, I knew who was in my circle. Like I know my boys in 419. I was like, I have them. I have the ugliest guy I've ever met, Corey White, there.
Yep.
Um, I knew I had him in my corner. Like this, there's like a very few people. I was just like, hey, I know I got these people in my corner, like regardless, even though it's like I'm surrounded by all these people, but it's just like
Right.
looking around, it's just like y'all are just here for the view. Like it's not like, hey, I'm here for helping you with the struggles.
Right. And those people that were around for that like view that you described it as, is like, like it's not like you were sitting out there handing out $100 bills or anything like that. It was just kind of like, like there was something to be said about just like the people that you hung out with in college. It's like I find myself doing it, and let me know if you do too. But like I'll be telling a story from like college, and I'll be sharing it with anybody. And I'll be like, oh, one of my friends from college. And then I really get to thinking about it like after I've said that. And I'm like, they weren't really my friend. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would say that about you. I would say that about Corey, Ty, Tim, D, Brant, like, like that you go down the list or whatever. But, like anybody else, I was like, I went to college with them. I wasn't friends with them. I knew them and they knew me, and like maybe we kind of like sort of almost ran in the same circles, but and I feel like that only gets more solid as you like get out of college. So I don't know. So you go to UFS, you graduate on time. Yeah.
Yes, on
No
time.
victory lap, no victory lap. And then you go and you get a master's at Arkansas Tech. So like talk about that process real briefly, like what that looked like, because you were a TA, GA,
Yeah.
something A, but like talk about that process and like how tough that short time period was, because you got was it 2 years? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
2 years.
Okay. All right. Talk about that real quick because I'm curious. So, and then kind of like tie that in, if you don't mind, like kind of tie that into like the circle thing that we were talking about, because you got to Tech and it's not like you had people that went with you, and you're older
Mhm.
at that point. So it's not like the stuff that you had established for yourself at Fort Smith is kind of gone at that point. So talk about that if you don't mind.
So my last year of undergrad, I was like, I graduate in a few months. I should probably figure out what I want to do with my life. Like, it's just, there's all these people looking for jobs, having jobs lined up. And then there's me. It's just like, it's February. I got to figure this out. Hey, it's March. I got to figure this out. Oh, crap. It's April. I got to figure this out. I knew I enjoyed being involved on campus. Like you said, like I was in a fraternity, intramurals. I did IFC, student government, just a bunch of like everything. And
Mhm.
so I was like, this is pretty cool working with college students. Like, and so I talked with one of my advisors for my fraternity, and she was like, hey, I went to Tech and did this master's program. I think you should go do this. And I was like, all right, bet. So she called up the program director at K and her former, because she was a GA there. She called her up and was like, hey, got this guy. Almost like y'all should interview him. Great guy. Just trust me.
Yeah.
Go up there, interview. It all went well. And basically before I even like when I left, they're like, hey, we're gonna get an acceptance email like in like the next few days. I was like, awesome, sweet. And so I got there and I taught for a year. I taught like a intro to what's the so it's like some basic like intro class, just like, hey,
Was it
this
like business or like?
No, it was just like you learned about resources on campus. You learned how to make a
Oh,
budget, how to do all this
like a tools for learning type of class.
yeah.
Okay.
I can't think of the
I
name of
remember
it.
taking one of those in College of Business, but I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. But I know what you're talking about.
So I taught one of those classes, and I taught like incoming freshmen, transfer students, non-traditional students. Like I had students that were 17, 18, just out of high school, and I had like 40, 50-year-old people in my class, and it's just like, yeah, I get to tell y'all what to do, and I'm 23. Like this is weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I did that for a year, and it was just like I went to go into UA Fort Smith. I knew everybody. Like
Yep.
I came into college, and like I had just like I knew people
Yep.
left and right. I could go to any building, so it's like, hey, I know these people,
Mhm.
or I could go anywhere in town. Boom, I ran into someone I know, and then at Tech, it's just like I'm alone. Like I had to, like looking back, just like I should have done more to help like recreate my identity to kind of like get myself established there. But at that time, I was just like, I'm just here for a master's. I'm gonna go to my classes, go to my office hours, and then teach, and then come back. And like I didn't leave my. I lived in a 4-bed, 4-bath. Like it was like each room had a bathroom and everything. We shared a living room. I never left my room unless I was leaving to go get food or go to school.
Yep.
And so it was just like it was a dark time. It's just like, man, it's it really now looking back, it opens my eyes. I'm like, oh, okay, I should have done more. And will I ever use this master's? Probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I taught for a year, and then I switched GA positions. I did assessment. I just did a bunch of data. Like got a new software. And they're like, hey, we need you to export data and fix this. And I'm like, okay. So I
Yeah.
went through and I created resumes for like all the faculty and staff.
Yeah.
And that's all you gotta do. Like you can watch Netflix the rest of the time. You can watch Hulu. Like whatever. Just get your 20 hours and you're good. I was like, awesome, sweet.
Did you get a lot more enjoyment out of the like teaching part of your master's program than like switching over and doing that?
I did miss the teaching, but my uh I guess boss at the time, she was just like, Daniel, you have great reviews. Everyone likes you, but are you enjoying this? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because like honestly, a year through, I was just like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
It was way too political, way too and I'm not gonna get into politics. Like
Right.
that's
Yeah.
not
I don't
me.
want to get
It's
I
just
don't want to
like,
get into
yeah.
that either. I want to stay way away from that. Trust me.
But
So
everything was just super political, and I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. This isn't me. And I honestly wanted to quit after my first year, but my family was just like, you're not a quitter. And I'm pretty sure you and Cord's like, hey, just fight through it. Like you'll have
grind
a
it out.
master's. Like don't quit.
Yeah.
And so I worked that fall semester at that new assistantship, and then I quit my assistantship and worked at First National as a teller because I made more money as a teller in
Right.
2 weeks than I did an entire month of the GA. And
Yep.
so I was just like, I have one class. I can just drive up there for that one class it's like once a week. And once the teacher who's then the program director was just like, Daniel, I know your situation is like, I'll tell you when to come to class and what not to. And so there'd be days like, hey, I need you to come to class tomorrow. I'm like, okay. I think I went 3 times the entire semester, and everyone was pissed
Yeah.
because they had an attendance grade and I didn't. He was like,
Yeah.
why does he get exempt? Well, you see, he's in a different path of life right now. He's
Right.
in a different direction,
Right.
and I'm not going to hurt him by like making him miss work to come do this.
Right.
And it doesn't apply to him. It's not going to help him.
Yeah.
And so still did my assignments and everything, but I finished out that semester and graduated, and here I am still at First National.
Yeah. Which I mean, like, that's the thing is like there are a couple things that you just mentioned there that I kind of want to ask you about. But I mean, like I remember having that conversation with you, and like when you told me that you quit that assistantship your second year, I thought you were like bailing on your master's degree, like one semester short. And I remember having a conversation with you. I was like, dude, like you might as well get it. You know what I mean? Like there's no reason not to. You spent this time, this 2 years, like trying to figure out like like what's next, you know what I mean? Because like I've always said this, and it's not a knock on you at all. I said this about my own brother. So it's like I said, I think people go to grad school just because they don't want to be an adult yet. And like I feel like that was true about you for a year, and then you switched over to where it was like, forget this, like I just want to be an adult. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Um, I could be wrong on that, but so I have a question for you on like what you were talking about with like that dark place at like first year. I don't want to get like super, super deep or anything like that, but like for me, I found that same dark place a year out of school. I didn't go and get a master's, which shout out to you for doing that. Cause like a lot of people don't stick that out. Like a lot of people don't even make it 4 years of college, but, I found that dark place. And I think for me, what it was I had so many solid, like really truly solid, and you're one of them, people in my circle in undergrad that I didn't give anything else a chance after I got done with it. Like, do you think that that is true about your situation? Do you think that a lot of people do that? Like, like, like where do you feel like you fit into like what I just said there?
Yeah, once I left, I was just like, I didn't have my people around me because we went from spending every single day together.
Every day, man, every day. And that's the thing that, sorry, I don't want to, I want to hear you talk about this, but like, obviously we all have friends that went to these big major universities with thousands and thousands and thousands of people. At Fort Smith, the same like 1,000 people live on campus like all 4 years. So it's like I saw you every day, whether we lived together or whether we didn't. I saw you every day. Sorry, I got off topic there, but yeah, like get into that a little bit more, like the circle thing, and like you just want your people, and you want to take your people, and you want to move them to Arkansas Tech, and you can't do that, and like yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Like I was just like, I missed my people. Like I missed like seeing Corey every day, and it's just or texting each other. Don't go to Taco Bell. Don't go to Huerta. Or it's just like it's just something simple like that. Or I remember it was when you lived in 737, and we would
Yep.
go up and we would sit on the couch and futon and play Madden Mobile or whatever.
Yep.
Like we're just
Yeah.
laying there and like not
Yeah.
speaking to each other, just like
Yep. Me,
really enjoying like
me,
each
you,
other's
and
company.
me, you,
And then
and
Tim walked by.
yep.
It's like, why don't you get off your phones? Tim, shut up and go play your Xbox. Like, come on, man, get out of here.
Oh man, yep. And it's hard. Like I just like I still remember my first year up there in Columbia. Like it was like a couple. So Romo and Corey came up for my birthday, which is in November. And I had been living in Columbia for about 2 or 3 months at that point, and they came up there, and I just remembered like never wanting that weekend to end, because it really is like what you're talking about. It's like if you could just take your people and move them and put them wherever you wanted to, life would be so easy. You know what I mean? And it's hard as an adult to like add to your list of people. You know what I mean? I don't know about you, but I haven't really added very many people since I've graduated from college.
No, I haven't either.
That's what I'm
Honestly,
saying. It's like,
I talk to like the same people every day. Like I
yep,
talk to you and Corey every day, Jacob.
our
Uh,
fantasy football group, like it's the same group of dudes. And like that might be the one exception, is the fantasy football group, is just because like I think we're going on what, year 4 now. But,
yeah,
it's like, but I mean it's still all people that went to UFS at one time or another, except for like 2 of my friends from camp. Like, and that's
Bread Boy.
Bread Boy and shout out Mason Ponder. But um you know it really is crazy, like, to think about that. Like if I could somehow convince you and Corey to both move to Tulsa, my life would never, like, it could not get easier, you know what I mean? But and I'd move back to Fort Smith if I had the opportunity. But it's just, that's just part of growing up. And it's the hard part, is like I don't know about you, like I'm 27, almost 28, which makes me want to throw up just saying it, but like I don't feel that old. Like, do you? Like sometimes I
I
do,
just turned
but most of the
26.
time
I'm
I
just
don't.
like I feel young.
That's what I'm saying, is like I feel like we're like a year or two removed from being together in 419, like all of us, and just sitting there. And like you said, it was like we never invited anybody over. Everybody just ended up over there. And it was like the best like friendship community that you could ever ask for. And it was so unexpected. Like
Yeah.
when it really comes down to it, like I was like, I met you when you were a senior, and I didn't know that we'd end up being friends. Like I had no idea. There's no way to know. You know what I mean? Like especially
Yeah.
like, and then it just really is crazy. But sorry, I got into that. Like, but I really appreciate you sharing that like side of it, because it is, you go to grad school, and I know that was a tough time for you, and you're still trying to figure it out. Like still at First National, but and not trying to get you to like say anything negative or anything like that, but you've been working there for a while. And it's not like you enjoy the job, but you don't like, there's not, from what you've shared with me, it's not exactly what you want to do forever. And I think that they know that as well. So like talk about and if you don't mind, talk about and share like what you do to like make up for that like frustration that you sometimes, that everybody deals with work. Like there are very few people that are lucky enough to go in every single day and love what they do. And I know that most days you enjoy your job, but like talk about what you do in your spare time and everything like that, everything that you've found like post college that helps you, kind of like stay focused and stay grounded and stay true to who you are.
So like I don't like my job, like it's a source of income to me. Like, I mean,
Which is fine. A lot of people are in that boat.
like it's not like I want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, no, I want to, if I want to stay and like I want to move up, but like I just don't know because there's so many avenues I could take. And so like right now I'm just like I'm kind of in the middle, like in limbo, because like I've been told by coworkers like, hey, if you stick around long, like you stick around and like wait it out, you will fall into like a good role.
Yeah.
And like that's fallen like been true for me. There's a lot to it some days and some weeks, but it's just like I go to work. I like people I work with, a real chill boss, cool coworkers. It's just I go there and do that, and then
Do you ever hang out with any of your coworkers outside of work though?
no, we'll go get lunch sometimes, but like at our lunch break, we'll go get lunch. Like we'll go to a taco truck or
Yeah.
we'll go to some barbecue place or whatever. But no, outside of work,
Yeah.
no.
I'm not saying that every job has to be that way. I was just curious because I know that like not everybody has that. Like very few people like work at a job where it's like, oh yeah, I want to go and spend my weekends hanging out with my coworkers. And it's not a knock on your coworkers. It's just like everybody's in different phases of life, always.
Mhm.
But
Like my boss is 45. He's like he's a very smart guy. He has two kids, I think 17 and 11,
yeah.
and like he's a super like gamer. Like he's into gaming, like old school systems. He's like, hey, if you know anyone that's like has a Wii or has any like old like thing like old console they don't want, he's like, hey, I'll take it. I'll pay for. I'll
Yeah.
buy it off him. He was like,
Yeah.
I like to tinker with that stuff. He just loves games. And
Which
he's
is
just like,
very different from who you are. So
yeah, like I don't game at all. And he's just like hey, like they like to play. Him and this other guy I worked with, they like to play Super Smash Brothers or whatever.
yeah.
And they're like, you play Smash? I'm like, no. They're like, what's wrong with you? Sorry, I don't like to play video games. It's not
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It's not me. Like I play NCAA football 2012 like every 2 months. It's just like, all right, I got my fix.
So if you're not spending your time playing video games, what do you do in your spare time?
A lot of the things I do in my spare time, I'll volunteer coach the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
I've been doing that for I guess close to 4 years now. I started out doing baseball and I picked up basketball last year. Yeah, last year. And so I've been doing that and I love it. It's just
Get to have a season last year with basketball with COVID and everything. Okay, that's
yeah,
good.
we had
Oh,
a
I guess it
basketball
would have
season
been
this last
before.
year.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. last year we had a baseball season. It was really weird. It was like thrown together in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Still happened. That was a tough season for me because I had a bunch of rough parents.
Mm.
You meet a lot of kids, you meet a lot of situations and families, just like, wow, like they're going through something, or this is their situation. And it's just it kind of opens your eyes, and there's sometimes it like really just like breaks your heart because you're like, oh, like I've met some great kids, I've met some troubled kids. So I've had a handful of like very kids who like have like a lot of special needs, and it's just like you really learn, like you really have to like dig deep, and it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
like be patient. What do you gotta do to, like, you gotta find out how to tailor to each kid's needs and like kind of how to get through to them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it's really good that you've realized that too. Is like you're not out here sitting here trying to win, national championships or anything like that at the Boys and Girls Club. But I think it's really
That's
cool. Huh?
that's next.
That's next. Yeah, that's on the bucket list for Dan Romo. But no, I think it's really cool that that you've had that realization that like you can reach all those kids and everything like that, and you can give them something that like not everybody else is going to give them. You know what I mean? Not everybody else is going to give that kid with special needs that opportunity to play, or not everybody else is going to coach that kid with special needs in a way that he needs to be coached. Like a lot of other coaches are just going to ignore that and be like, okay, well, I'm going to focus on the X number of kids that I have that can actually play and just work with that. And I think it's cool. So you're probably in the middle of baseball season number 4 at this point. Is that right? So
Yeah, our season starts next week,
okay.
May 3rd.
Come
So
on out and support.
uh, yeah, I start that next week.
Yeah.
Even Paxton, it's been rec league sports are different because like there's kids, like a lot's changed, and because like a lot of kids like, I don't play travel ball, I don't play travel ball.
Mm-hmm.
But travel ball is not what it used to be. That used to be like how you get showcase, like how you
Yeah.
like really showcase like people's talents. It's just like, hey, these are kids to watch for. Now it's just like, my kid wants to play travel ball, so I'm gonna play travel
I'm
ball.
gonna pay $1,000 something for him to just play travel ball just to be able to say that he plays travel ball. I get that. So
Like that's just, it's different. Like people, there's like, I know a few guys like, yeah, my kid plays travel ball, and I'm most like, why are y'all doing both? Like, oh, he just wants to do something for fun.
yeah.
And I'm like, no, I just go focus on travel ball.
That's my thing is it should oh excuse me, that one was bad. It should all be fun. You know what I mean? Like it really should all be fun. Like don't just play rec ball for fun. Like it should all be fun. Like if your kid's not having fun playing the game of baseball, then why is he playing? You know what I mean? Like I know for me personally, like if I had ever like I stopped playing baseball when I was a sophomore because I stopped having fun playing. Like and I know you played football and basketball all the way through, but a lot of that wasn't just because like you didn't have people out there telling you, oh yeah, hey Dan, you should be a basketball player, you should be a football player. Like you had fun doing both of those things, so why not do them? You know what I mean? And I know you well enough to know that like, yeah, you might not have been a superstar or anything like that, but you still put your best foot forward every day in both of those sports to the best of your abilities, and that's what's important. Like in rec league, and I hate that they call it rec league. I really do. Like I wish it was just baseball. Like growing up, I only knew it as baseball. I didn't know it as like rec league. And so it made it where I still took the same approach to it every day as anything else. But so any thoughts, plans, intentions to maybe do that for a living one day?
I'm not gonna shut the door on it.
Okay.
I
What is your master's technically in?
So my master's is in, they changed the program name to like higher ed administration, I think. Basically, it was for
So
like
you
going.
could be a teacher right now,
I could go.
hypothetically.
I think with my degree, I could go be like some sort of uh career counselor, like call like high school career counselor or
Okay.
something of the sort. Like, hey, here are your avenues that you could take. This is like apply for scholarships, apply to colleges, maybe go to the military or trade school or whatever it may be. It's just like, hey, show them their options.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, kids will, like, we in high school, I say, kids, students, how you want to like label them, they're just like I remember being in high school, so I was just told like, hey, go to college, you need to go to college. And then you get there, it's like, okay, why am I here?
Yeah.
It's just like, I changed my major 3 times in college.
Yep. I
Still
did.
graduate on time.
I
Still
did. Too.
graduate.
So yeah. All right. So just kind of a like quick transition, kind of wrapping up here towards the end. So you and I are both huge Barstool fans. So one, you told me before we started, you were like, dude, you got to check out my shirt. So show the people your shirt. I want to see it. And then
B90X, baby.
B90X, and then explain it for the people that don't know.
All right, so like you said, we're big Barstool nerds. That huge fans. Would do anything to work for them. There's this guy, Brandon Walker. You probably see him on Twitter. He probably has you blocked, like Rico Bosco, the scale. No, I don't want to get started on that. But Brandon Walker, he just like, he has like 5 different podcasts he's on. He had, when they were on Sirius, he had like 5 different shows. It was just, they're like, Brandon, what do you do? He's like, I work fucking 90 hours a week. Like, that's what I do. And he's just like the B90X method. It's like, push yourself and others to like make him great or whatever. He's like, I'm always working, always doing something.
Yeah.
And Brandon's just ridiculous, but I love him.
Yep. So we both kind of got started listening to pretty much nothing but Pardon My Take. And then, we text about that every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just about, and usually I'm behind and you always tell me to catch up and everything. But then it obviously transitioned into us listening to Sirius XM, and that's how we both kind of became fans of Brandon Walker, even though he's a Mississippi State fan. Did you cancel your Sirius XM?
100%.
I did too. I cannot believe they couldn't get a deal done with Barstool. I hope that every other stoolie canceled their Sirius XM when they went off there. But I know that you and I have both been trying to do a decent job of keeping up with them on YouTube and everything like that. And I'm not saying we're gonna overtake them with my show here or anything like that, but it is kind of crazy to think now that just regular plain old me is on the same platform, if you want to call it that, as some of like the people that I'm the biggest fan of. So how'd you get started into becoming a Barstool like fan? Like what appealed you to it? Who are some of your favorite like personalities, like other than Big Cat, PFT, everybody's a fan of, like you can't say anything negative about those guys. Who are some of your other favorites, and how'd you get interested in them?
So I got interested. Like, I never, like, saw Barstool stuff all over the internet, like all over Twitter, Instagram, whatever, like they're on. And because of you, you're just like, hey, man, listen to this pod. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then like literally after one episode, I was like, I'm hooked. Like, I am addicted to the show.
Yep.
I am diehard Stoolie. That's what that also helped me get through like grad school some, because like Barstool content. And that's, I had a headphone in, working, Barstool's playing.
Yep.
Outside of Pardon My Take, I'm a fan of the Yak. RIP to the Yak.
No, it's
that is
the Barstool Yak on YouTube now, so you can still watch, but it is different. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, go ahead. Other personalities.
So there's Brandon Walker. There's Roan. Caleb Presley, who used to be on the Yak, now he's off doing his own thing. Nick and KB. Owen has been up and coming. Let's see. I'm a big fan of KFC, even though a lot of people don't like him. I like him. I'm a big fan of him. Like,
yeah,
I feel like, even though he's like late 30s or whatever, he's just like, he has a lot of relatable content, even though he's like 10 plus years older. Just like, hey, that hits home. And Feidelberg, you can make fun of him like for anything. Stu Feiner, even though he's not really a Barstool personality,
No,
You
he
can
is
ask,
during the NFL season, so I think that counts enough. But
you
yeah,
can ask Grant. I send him like if I see
yep.
something Stu Finer, I'll send it to him. I'll be like,
Without
hey,
a
you see
doubt,
this?
if you were to scroll through mine and Romo's Instagram DMs right now, probably about 30 to 40% of them have just been Stu Finer's Instagram posts or stories. And it cracks me up every time. Like the dude is just absolutely ridiculous, but he's so funny. Delivered one of the most iconic moments that I've ever seen on the internet when he was talking RIP Steve Mahalik. Like
R.I.P. Hey, man who knew all religions.
all religion, um but I really do think it's interesting is like yes, we've kind of become like um just very wrapped up in like this barstool world and everything like that, and I think it's funny how everybody kind of has different people that they like you like KFC, a lot of people don't. I'm not the biggest fan, but like I do understand where you're coming from with like the relatable stuff. Like it really is relatable. But a lot of people think he's funny and a lot of people don't. He hosts Friday Night Pints, KFC radio, everything like that. Like he's kind of one of the OGs of Barstool, and some people like him and some people don't. um is there anybody else that's like incredibly random that you just really really like and you can't really explain why or how, but you just do?
Hmm.
If
I
there's not
would think
anybody, if there's not anybody, then that's fine. I was just curious because like
there's a lot of
we
people I
like a
like in
lot of the same
Barstool.
people. So
Like Marty Mush, it's like he's that one guy. It's just like, dude, you're so freaking stupid. And he's just like, trust the rat. He's like, I am the rat.
Marty,
Um,
Marty Mush is the kind of guy that makes people like me and you think that we could work for Barstool, because the guy is an absolute moron and he just produces fire content after fire content. And it's like, I could do that. I am that stupid. I am equally that stupid. Like, there's no way that I couldn't do that. So, but
like there's him, like Nick, KB, and Donnie. Like their lives are just like, well, Nick and KB specifically, their life is a walking bit. Like that's
oh,
it's just like,
100%.
is this real life or is this a joke? And it's just like I don't know what to do. Like the
Yep.
Rediscovering America videos.
Oh, I can't
That
wait.
is
I cannot wait. The Florida episode should be coming out soon. I cannot wait. Um but yeah, no, I mean we've both kind of gotten interested in that around the same time, kind of going through the same sort of things. Like I just remember like I was driving all the time and I was tired of just listening to the same old music over and over again, and that's how I got into Pardon My Take. Like, and it's just like was as simple as that. And then they had people on it. It kind of led me into like other worlds of Barstool where I was watching stool scenes and just kind of like I would go to the gym and throw on a 30-minute episode of the rundown or whatever it was where they were talking about sports, which is something that we're both very interested in. And then I just work out or run for that amount of time and just kind of got me hooked on it. Same sort of thing as you. But okay, so just got a couple minutes left. Want to wrap up here. uh Dan, thank you for coming on. I know this is like a little weird because like I felt like this was going to be like a real legit interview for a second, just because. So Dan told me before, he was like, dude, I don't know what I want to talk about, which is fine and understandable because I put him like completely on the spot. Like I really decided I wanted to do this like less than 2 weeks ago, and here I am doing it. Like that's kind of crazy to me to think about. And I told him, I was like, dude, there's nobody better than you. And I believe that. I truly believe that with my whole heart. Like, you're one of my best friends on the planet, dude. And like I was like, there's nobody better to come on and just kind of talk, just like talk, like and get into deeper stuff, get into just kind of like whatever goofy kind of like who we are as people. And
I mean, I am a living legend. I'm a walking
that
legend,
is
dude.
true. Living legend, living legend. There's not a person that went to the University of Arkansas Fort Smith that doesn't have a selfie and or just a picture of Daniel Romo in their camera roll, because
Or
everybody.
even on their platform or DM. Like, hey, yeah.
Yes, 100%. If Daniel Romo did not slide into your DMs, ladies, while you were at UA Fort Smith, I don't know what that says about. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, but But no, thank you for coming on for real, man. Like I got nothing but love for you, and I'm very, like we talked about the circles thing. Like I'm very happy to have you in my circle, and I know that you know that I'm always in yours, and I'll always be in your corner. But I want to end with a little rapid fire. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Best movie of all time.
Shit, I'm not ready for this.
No, it's rapid fire. Go. Best movie of all time. Okay. Best ice cream.
Oreos.
Best candy.
Reese's.
Best song.
Skip. I don't know.
Yeah, best song. Okay, no, that's fine. That's a tough one. Let's see. Best place you've ever been to.
Best place I've ever been to?
Yep.
Like for anything?
Yep. Period.
Colorado.
Colorado. Where'd you go? Mountains?
Yes. I went to Colorado Springs, went to Denver, and then some ski resort. I don't remember what it's called.
Okay. Best beer.
Bud Light.
Best non-alcoholic drink.
Water.
Water? No Dr. Pepper. I thought I knew you. Wow.
Hey! I do love Dr. Pepper. I've gone the Muslim route. I've been drinking Diet Pepsi and Diet Dr. Pepper lately. But I'm also trying to get away from soda because I'm just like, if I drink a lot of these, I'm gonna gain weight. If I start drinking more water, hey, I'm gonna lose weight. So
there you go.
Okay, soda, Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper, Diet Pepsi.
Okay. Let's see. Last one. I'm drawing a blank now too. I thought I had a few good ones. Blanking. Best. Okay, last one. Best bar in Fort Smith.
Best bar, Papa's.
Papa's Pub. There it is. You heard it here. All right. I need to come a little bit more prepared with my best subs next time. But you handled those pretty well for it all being rapid fire. But I'll come up.
I didn't know what to expect. Honestly, I was just like,
it was good. It was quick. A few of those answers were real quick. So, but no, man. Thank you for real for coming on. Like I know this was big, and you kind of had a lot of questions for me, and I didn't have all the answers, and I still don't have all the answers. I'm still.
You had no answers for me. Man, pick something.
That's okay. Okay, don't throw me under the bus in front of all these people that are listening here for the first time. But
send laughing emojis, bro. I'm not laughing. I'm like, what do I do? What do I need? Like, help me out. I was like, nah, fam, you got this.
I did, and you did have this. Everybody that has watched through this entire process, through this entire interview, if you want to call it that, it's more of a conversation, but through this whole thing, everybody knows you got this, and you did have this 100%. So, but for real, dude, thank you for coming on. I appreciate the heck out of you, and thank you all for listening, watching, tuning in to Grant and Guest with the one, the only Daniel Romo. Deuces, everybody.
Bro, you called me Daniel again. What the heck?
I did. Dang it. The one, the only Dan, D-A-N, Dan Romo.